Hello there, Kyle Katarn here. Let's talk about Solo, Star Wars story. I just got back from the theater for my second viewing. I had a great time. Movie was lighthearted but still exciting. It was funny but not overloaded with jokes. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Solid performances from the cast, particularly Alden Ehrenreich and Donald Glover. So I'm going to try and review this in the broadest strokes possible and save the spoilers until the second half of the review when we'll really get into the good stuff here. I thought Alden Ehrenreich did a really good job of copying Harrison Ford's mannerisms, but his performance was so much more than an impression. He really made it his own. And for someone like me who was skeptical of this movie's existence right from the get-go, I was impressed that it took only a handful of scenes for me to suspend disbelief and just see Han Solo on the screen and not some actor trying to portray him. Donald Glover's first line was Billy D. Williams to a T. It sounded perfect, and I got so excited when I heard him start to speak. But all the rest of his lines, he really dropped the inflection. And, he did a good job with the voice that he did provide, but there were a couple of moments where he pronounced words weird, and it just kind of pulled me out of the experience just a little bit. I still really liked Don Glover as Lando, though. I think he did a great job. There was really not a lot in this movie that I could find fault with, and a lot of the questions I was left with after the first viewing were answered on my second viewing. There's always details in the background that you miss. If you've been following my channel for any length of time, you probably know that my favorite droid in all of the galaxy is the Gonk droid, baby. And I am very happy to report that I counted no less than 7 Gonk droids in this movie, which possibly makes it the most Gonktastic Star Wars movie ever released. Fuck yeah. Gonk! The overall look of the film really reminded me of Rogue One. It was particularly dark. I'm referring to luminosity, not the subject matter, which was pretty lighthearted, in fact. I thought it was very much in keeping with the 1970s used universe vibe. Really dug it. Overall, it was just a really fun, enjoyable, heist-type adventure. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. Alright, we're going to dive into the spoilers now, talk about the good stuff. Consider yourself warned, alright? So all of the moments that you expected to be there were there. Han meeting Chewie, Han meeting Lando, Han on the Falcon for the first time, the pivotal Sabbat game where he wins the ship from Lando. All of these moments were treated with care, and the movie found a way to make them fresh, even though we already know exactly what's going to happen. You don't have to be a super fan to be aware of those moments in Han Solo's backstory. They've always been a big deal. I think the movie handled it pretty well. A great example of that is I love how Chewbacca was the beast that Han was going to get fed to on Mimban. And that actually got probably the largest audience laugh in my theater was when Han attempts to speak Shriwook when he's getting pushed into the mud. It was pretty funny. First time we've ever heard a human speak it. I'm glad it was Han. Just makes sense. I thought the Kessel Run sequence was awesome. It's really nice to finally be able to put a story to that throwaway line of dialogue from A New Hope. And the visual of the Star Destroyer just looming in the path, blockading the planet, was really cool. I wish that shot had lingered for a couple more seconds. I felt like it was underused to me for how impressive that visual was. The Kessel sequence on the planet itself was maybe my favorite part of the whole movie. The whole film felt like a Star Wars adventure, don't get me wrong, but the Kessel sequence in particular felt very authentic. It's the classic setup. They show up disguised as prisoners, chaos ensues, and it's entertaining every single time. The droid uprising was hilarious. The damn Gonk droid stomping on the keyboard had me laughing so hard. Definitely going to need a gif of that for Rage Quit Abandoned Thread purposes. A lot of good meme material, especially in that scene. Han shooting first, I thought it was handled just fine. If there had been like a quip or a smirk or like a little line thrown in there, it would have been too much. But it was, nice and understated. I was fine with how they handled it. There were a ton of prequel acknowledgments in this movie. We got references to Felucia, Dathomir. Beckett talks about pushing Aurra Singh to her death, although it's stated rather ambiguously. Dryden Voss eating some Colo Clawfish. Weasel is there from the Phantom Menace, along with Benthic Two Tubes from Rogue One. Not to mention Darth fucking Maul. Oh my god, so I gotta talk about Darth Maul. So, when that scene came on in the theater, I had a soda in my hand, right? And the hologram comes up, and you see the metal leg, but I thought it was the leg of the chair that he was sitting on, so I wasn't sure who it was yet. But as soon as I heard Sam Witwer's voice, I knew immediately it was Maul. And I got so excited that I clenched up my fists and the soda just exploded in my hand. Yeah, the theater, it was mostly gasps. One guy cheered. I sensed a vibe of confusion, which does make sense. Not everyone has seen the animated series. So if you find yourself a little confused over Maul's appearance in Solo, let me try and break it down for you in the simplest way I can. So Darth Maul gets cut in half by Obi-Wan Kenobi at the end of Episode 1, gets sent falling down a big hole which connects to a trash chute, and Maul ends up getting dumped in the junk fields of Lothal Minor. He builds himself some creepy spider robot legs, lives there in exile for a while until is found by his brother from another Night Mother, Savage Opress. Savage and Maul head off hand in hand to take over a couple crime syndicates, including Black Sun, Death Watch, and the Pikes, have a big fight with Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mandalore, and end up pissing off Darth Sidious by being still alive. There are also a ton of expanded universe references in this film, some of which were pretty obscure. Kira name drops her martial arts skill of Teras Kazi, which is a reference to the 1997 LucasArts PlayStation game, which was the Masters of Teras Kazi. I'm pretty sure the crystal skull that you see in Dryden Voss's yacht comes from the Han Solo adventures. And when Lando is recording himself, he makes references to Ascion, the Sharu, and the Star Cave, which are all from Lando Calrissian and the Mind Harp of Sharu, one of the original Bantam books way back in the day. That's a deep cut to reference in the movie. I was really impressed when I saw that. Beckett talks about wanting to retire to Glee Anselm, which is the ocean homeworld of the Nautilians. And he also talks about wanting to learn the Valor Horn, which is a musical instrument first introduced in Star Wars Galaxies. Val mentions Bosk, best bounty hunter in the galaxy, and also name drops the Zahn sisters from Shadows of the Empire. They're identical twins that can only be told apart by their eye color. I'm also pretty sure that the Convex on Vendor, the train, is heavily inspired by that one level in Shadows of the Empire as well. A lot of similarities there. I thought Corellia looked really cool, from what we saw of it at least. A lot of the action in the film takes place in like the grimy industrial sectors of the city, but there was like a large establishing shot where you could kind of make out like a cosmopolitan cityscape across the body of water. And that makes sense because Coronet City is supposed to be a large sprawling metropolis, so it was nice to at least have that alluded to, if not seen directly on the film. Yeah, overall, I had a great time at the movie. I would say this film is on par with Rogue One, and I liked it far better than both 7 and 8. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of Solo, or if you caught any references that I may have missed. I'm sure that there's a ton of them. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out the rest of my channel for more awesome Star Wars content. Leave me a comment if you got a question or something to say, and as always, may the Force be with you.